Well, hey, there you are, Sonia here. Welcome to Sonia's Sermonettes. How many of you out there possibly have found yourself more concerned about what others' opinions were about you, how you might please them, how they might not understand you, and you spent a great deal of your time trying to please and trying to conform and trying to convince others, that what you represent is a good thing and they just simply do not understand. Have you asked yourself the question, why can't anyone understand what I have been designated to do? If you've been called to do a work for the Lord, especially, that's what's going to happen. But it happens in many situations in people's lives, and skills and talents and gifts and things they want to pursue. People don't always understand. Family doesn't understand. But you know what I realize? And I think you probably have, most of you have, and some of you have not. Maybe this will give you a little bit of understanding. They really cannot understand. And the reason why that is, some don't want to. Some might be a rather little bit envious of you. But the fact is, it's not their call. They have not been called to do what you have been called to do. So how in the world could they possibly understand? And if you spend a great deal of your time trying to please and trying to cause others to understand, you've wasted a lot of time here that you could be doing what you've been called to do. You could be busy doing the work that God wants you to do, is what I'm trying to say. I spent a great deal of my time feeling more concerned about what others might think of me and trying to have them to understand. And I finally came to this realization, and it may sound a little bit egotistical, but I don't really care whether anyone understands me or not. I don't really care. I mean, it's concerning, yes. It makes you feel kind of deflated if people just look down at you and think you're not really doing what you ought to be doing. Well, are they doing what they ought to be doing? But you come to this point. I'm not going to worry about one thing that people or some things or whatever might be concerned. My main concern is this, that I care about what God is concerned about. I care about what God has called me to do. I care about that. And that's the most important thing. And no, they cannot understand because they're not called to do the work that you or I are called to do. How could they possibly? They might enjoy what you share. They might even get enlightenment out of it. But they can't fully understand why in the world would you spend your whole life working for God when people don't even want to hear about it. I had someone tell me one time, said, I don't even know why you're trying. That just let people go ahead and do whatever they're going to do. But that's not what God's called us to do now, is it? He said to go out into the highways and the byways and compel them to come in. Well, those that don't want to, well, that's their choice. I'm not going to be concerned about the ones that don't want to or whatever. I'll just put that in the hands of God, and that's what you should do as well. You may be trying to convert people and trying to convince people, and you find yourself running up against a wall. Well, you know what? Possibly that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Possibly you need to just turn that over to God and let God work it over and work it out. You can't be wrong all the time, nor can you be right all the time. But the most important thing is this, that you know what God has called you to do, and you know what the ministry or talent or gift or skill or whatever it is that you are to be designated to do, and that's what really, truly, truly matters. You'll come to the place that all I want to do is do what I'm called to do. My focus is going to be upon the Lord. It's going to be upon the call or the talent or the skills that I have, and that's where I'm going to stay. You can feel a love like you've never felt when you really make up your mind. You're going to focus on pleasing God. You know, a lot of people take for granted just a cold drink of water, don't they? When in fact all they're doing is looking for great bodies of water. Well, when you really do need a drink, you can't find that great body of water, and you just got a glass of water, put that glass of water to use. Put it to use for your benefit. Know that when God calls you, he's qualifying you. And you might be saying, but I don't know if I'm qualified or not. I don't know if I can do that. Have you ever tried? And the focus is not, I don't know if I can. I am going to focus on God must believe I can. I've mentioned this time before that I used to tell God, I don't even know what in the world you want someone like me for, a mess like I am. But if you want me, and I fought it, I really did. If you really want me to do a work for you, then here I am, mess and all. Just take me all the mess and all the confusion and whatever else is in my life. You just, here I am, God. And that's what God will please you for, the fact that you say, yes, Lord, I will do the work you want me to do. I will do what you've called or ordained and designated me to do, and I'm going to please you, my Father. For Jesus Christ made it so, made it possible for me to be able to be ordained and to be called and do a work for God. And I thank God for that. So, dear ones, do not stay focused on trying to please everybody else and trying to get everybody saved that doesn't even want to hear about it. Focus on what does God want you to do. I had a friend of mine years ago that told me that, and I never forgot it. What does God say about it? And what does God want you to do? You focus on that and you'll find a great deal of contentment. You'll find a fulfillment in your life. And I trust this has helped you to some degree, and I look forward to coming back again. And so, until, dear friend, until next time.